seconds ago, and we back at it again. Swift inside of tiny race number 2. Okay, you see, I came up that last race where I should have placed higher than that. That was all my fault. That was all my fault. And I see that I'm making simple mistakes that cost me the race. Now, this race was totally different. This the Serpentine, I want to say 8. And if you notice, this is a race where we're off, and I nailed the takeoff again. 15:01 on that takeoff. 15:01. I get the takeoffs right, and I come on back down so I don't wear myself out. It's just nailing the takeoff is what I'm trying to do. So I nailed the takeoff on this one. We're coming on down the stretch, and I know the first part of the Serpentine is a nice, long, deep decline. So I try to rest up, which I do pretty good. But at some point, them inclines on this race are painful for me. Somebody was talking to me about, man, you dominating on this, and I'm like, no. Last week, if y'all go back and look in Swift Power, last week on the Tiny Insiders, the #1 winner for every one of them 4 races was BB. He won all 4 races. I came in second. I think I came in third on them on 2 different races last week. But for the most part, BB won all of them. And so this week I told him, I said, I really did. Someone like, y'all running fast this week. And I'm like, no, actually BB's not here. So we're actually running a little slower than normal because me, him, and Tandem will really push the pile. Tandem was really pushing it. Now, Tandem pushed this one, and he was messing with me on this one because he knew it was hill, so I guess he kind of knew. The downhill part was cool. You see me? Look at my mouth. I backed all the way off. I'm just letting my weight do all the work. I'm not trying to do it because I know there's hills climbs. The problem with this is I don't run hills as much as I should so that I can understand them as much as I need to be. Tomorrow, I'm running, well, sorry, this will be out on Tuesday. I think it will, Tuesday or Wednesday. Depends on if I get to upload tomorrow, Monday's race. But Monday I'll be doing the Get Rolling race, and it's 24.9 kilometers. So I know that's about 15 miles. So that's a nice long race tomorrow. That's gonna be nice for me. These shorter races are harder because I'm riding with them, and everybody can actually max out on the hills. Now, as I'm coming down, I'm trying to just ride this thing. I know it's a lot of gravel. I didn't realize it was that much gravel. I haven't ran this in a long time. Swift got me this week. Swift went more gravel and hills week this week, so it really got me. Now, saying that, the second race was pretty cool. Now, like I said, I nailed that one with the takeoff on this, and oh man, I'm thinking about something really in the back of my mind. If I could have, anyway, I'm taking off on this and I'm riding with this. And I'm doing pretty good. We're coming down, but even coming downhill on gravel slows me down. If you notice, I'm still at, it's at a 0, but it's gonna start back going down. And I speed up, but I don't go as fast as I am on the street. And by all means, you know why. It's dirt rock. You're gonna go a lot slower. Plus, I don't have a mountain bike, but on this race, I don't think you really needed it. Maybe so, but I don't got a lot better at just powering through on these rides, so I really didn't have to have it. I should say that. And I'm just riding this race. Now, one thing I did say, I did tell y'all that I was gonna run Class C for my 5 a.m. run. Those gonna be the ones I elevate up each one. I think if I have the time, I will run at 11 o'clock, I will run everything in Class D. And I'm gonna post each one on, if I run those, each race, 1 is gonna be 1, 2 gonna be 2, and it's just gonna get posted like that. So I'm coming down on this one. We got 3.0 left on it. I'm feeling good on this race. I'm actually kind of positive, thinking that, man, if I could just stay with them for a little longer, maybe we're gonna hit street again. Because I'm thinking Serpentine means we're gonna come back around to another street. And man, I tell you what, the climb on this thing, especially when you climb and grab it, as you see, we're coming downhill on here, but there's really no long descent, long enough for me to gather myself back up and make another climb. It's kind of like, okay, descent back up. And so as we go down here, we come right back up into another climb. So it never gives me a chance to actually get back up with the lighter guys. And with them being lighter, on a longer race, it's different because not being funny, I can maintain 2.3, 2.4. I can do that almost an hour. It's not hard for me. Oh, as you see, I hit 23. I'm level 23 now. So we're riding through here, and I'm riding on the inclines, declines, riding on the declines, and I will catch up with people. But for the most part in this race, this was one of them races where I was conserving my energy for the next race because I knew this race was gonna be, hey, we was gonna be up and down. So I decided I played on the more conservative side of the race. I thought, well, especially on this decline, I thought, well, maybe I can get enough speed to catch back up. But as you observe on this race, we end up going back into another steep incline. So it wasn't really, for me, this race right here, until I get a lot lighter, this is when if you notice, I don't really complain about the gravel stuff though, because I'm getting to a point where I can actually pull through a lot of this. This is not nothing where it's as big of a hindrance indeed. Like I say, for a month, I'm finna be moving it up. So I'm being prepared to go out here and just gunsling, ride out, and see what I can actually pull off with them. And I'm getting excited kind of thinking about it. Like I said, BB, he direct messaged me, but I did not see it until like the second race. So BB, sorry about that, man. I didn't see it until the second race. If I had seen it earlier, I would have done it. So I kind of like chasing him and riding with him because he's on another level of riding. So I've been watching his races and well, not watching his races, but I go back and see the profile, what races he in. So I try to kind of duplicate that and try to duplicate kind of his numbers on some of those races because it gives me a chance to measure where I'm at. Now, I raced a couple of his teammates, if you saw last week, and I'm still saying they one of the baddest teams around, man. That NTS, I gotta look back at it. I messed with the name, they're gonna hunt me down. But we're riding on this thing, and you can see I'm doing pretty good, and I'm thinking to myself, I can just stay in 10th, and I'll ride 10th out. And I'm riding, and I don't have any, I could have benefited some of this race for at least one feather. And we hit this right here, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll just ride this thing. I had conserved my energy a lot, but as we come around, we start climbing again, and the race is really too short. With a lot of climbs, not being funny, but with a lot of climbs, the races become, on a short race like that, there's no time for me to make back up. Now, tomorrow, if they got climbs, I'm not worried about it tomorrow. Unless it's dead at the end of the race, I am not worried about it because I have enough time to catch back up. With enough time, if this was maybe, instead of what it was, a 4K, if this was maybe 12K or 10K, 12K or 10K, I could have caught everybody back up on the slope ends, on the zero paces. I would have walked everybody back down. But when I have to deal with a hill, especially at the end of a race, I'm trying to push it out, but I decided that it's best to save and conserve a little bit more energy now than to waste it and try to get to the end of this race. So I decided to save it, try to finish at 18, try to hold off the guy behind me, just do it enough, but because we're on gravel, and I think this is a dirt sand spot, maybe rich, it's not a fast spot for me to do. So what I decided to do was just hold off, maintain my speed, and get through this race without increasing my heart rate through the moon and finish this race up. So this is what this became about. It's just finishing this race up. I looked down and saw the guy behind me was slowing down. I know everyone's slowing down because we were trying to keep a faster pace, and I know a lot of people was complaining about the pace was really fast. But that's the thing we run into now. D may be for beginners and people who are developing their speeds, but we're all developing at a pace that is helping us get to C. That's our end goal, is to get to C. So I want to say, y'all, thank y'all for watching this race. Thank y'all for supporting me. Please, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ride on.